All right.
Welcome back to Slothcast. I am your host, the Sloth Man. With me, as always, is Trevor Beveridge. Trevor, how are you today?
I'm as ripe as the summer peach.
Beautiful, beautiful. Today we are starting a new series. The series is called BYOB. Bring your own beverage. You can drink, or you don't have to drink. But today we are joined by the podcast co-host and actor Hans.
Right. I forget about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Hans, how are
So,
you,
so
Hans?
tell, pretty good. Pretty good. Tell me. Well, I don't know if you can see. I'm sure you can. I'm sweating. I don't know why I'm sweating so much, but I'm sweating a lot. Let me ask you something. This you can drink or not drink. Do you mean to not drink because Lores doesn't drink, and he refused to drink?
Yeah, well,
Because
Lore,
when he told me he was going to do the show, I was like, I thought the show was about like drinking and then talking about a movie, and he was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Are you gonna drink?" And he's like, "No, no." So I figured, yeah.
well, yeah, there's Low, and then next week we're gonna have the guy from the a guy from the Elroy Boys, one of the Elroy Boys, Brendan, and Brendan is also sober. He doesn't do anything, so
Okay.
it's okay to and that's okay. That's fine. I'm
Well,
fine with that.
Loris is not sober. I think he's just afraid of showing who he really is, so he doesn't drink. Because I'm bringing, I guess, it's guaro. It's a Costa Rican drink that's made out of sugar cane. And it's like 30% alcohol. It's like a little bit stronger than vodka that we have here. But he's tried this, and I remember when I went up there last year to shoot a Mass State Lottery, he would ask for a shot of this to go to sleep before going to sleep. So it's not that he doesn't drink. I just really don't think that he wants to get shitty in public or on recording, I guess. Which it's pretty responsible if you think about it. I've been high and drunk in our podcast a couple of times, and it's usually not great.
Well,
So
well,
yeah.
well, Low Res is pretty. He's pretty on the level. You know what I
He's a
mean? Like,
professional.
he's
Mhm.
professional. He's professional, but he also
Yeah.
will like go. He already goes kind of like deep into stuff. So maybe the
Yeah.
booze is just more of like a control sort of mechanism. Maybe he just doesn't want to like just sort of willy nilly start spitting off. I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Well, also like I'm the guy that just shows up pretty much to do the show, so my responsibility is not as big as his, where he has to record everything and then edit it and put it up. So maybe that has something to do with it too.
Well,
But
that dude fucking hustles. I mean, he
yeah,
hustles his ass off all the time. Um, and so I can get it if you don't want to lose control, because one day
right,
of drinking could set you back.
yeah, yeah. Especially if you have to edit all day or whatever it is that he does. Yeah,
So what are you drinking? What's it called?
it's called guaro. I don't know if you
Guaro.
can read it there.
Don Tico
Guaro.
Guaro. Yeah.
Don Tico.
Aro.
Yeah, I've never tried this brand. They didn't have the usual one, which is cacique, which is like a native warchief, I guess. That's what that word means. They didn't have that kind,
Mm.
so I'm trying this one that I've never seen before. And like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the show, like I had to Google to see if it had any methanol because recently there was a thing here in Costa Rica where a bunch of brands of guaro had methanol in them. And I really don't want to go. I mean, I want to do a show with you, but really don't want to go blind for the show, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you to go blind either. You're no, would you say that you're a lead in Mass State Lottery?
I'd say I'm the second,
Okay.
the person that's in it the most, other than the main character who's lower is. Yeah,
Okay, so you're like a lead. You're like one of the
I'm
leads.
I'm like the sidekick, like the. Uh,
And
I
are
don't want
you
to say much. I don't want to say much because I mean
No,
you
no,
know
yeah,
about
yeah,
it,
yeah. No,
but
no, no.
but
You know.
but a lot of it I still kind of don't know really. Like it's still all in Loris's head, so I know the first thing we were gonna do, but some things have changed. So it is one of the main characters, yeah. I'm not really sure exactly how much of a and that's just my insecurity speaking. But yeah, you know what? I am. a bigger character than him. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm the star. I'm the star of this movie.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
driving this motherfucker. Well, you're driving this podcast tonight. We're gonna go with wherever you go, and then whatever tangents we get on. Just no N words or C words or P words or
I'll
G
try.
words or A words or B words or C words. No words.
All right.
No,
I mean,
problem.
I don't really, whatever. Yeah, because we're gonna put this on YouTube, so I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the deal is.
No subversive literature.
But if we get a strike, I'll look at that as like a badge of honor. It'll be the first
It's a
strike.
win. You made it. They're paying attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is this your first acting job? Was that Mass State Lottery? Is that your first acting gig?
Yeah, acting. Well, I did a couple of things at film school, but it was mostly just shorts for my friends, so it wasn't anything serious. I played like a leading man that turns out to be gay at the end of a funny sketch, so that was good. And then just a couple of other just small roles, but everything that I've done with Lores, it's been just me shooting myself because of me living in Costa Rica and then being all the way over there. So this was definitely a new experience of just first the nerves of having someone else hold the camera, and then because of English being my second language, sometimes I pronounce words in ways that are not supposed to be pronounced, especially when you're supposed to be an American, right? Like my character is not Latin American, as far as I know. So that was a little bit of a struggle at the beginning because it was also the first time that I ever met those guys in person. So it was a lot of pressure at first, but I thankfully didn't really let it get to me by the end of it. And I think we got something that at least will be interesting, especially with how much shit is out there now.
Yeah, you can find the trailer if you just put Mass State Lottery movie on YouTube. You can find it, and you can see a little bit snippet of Hans's work. It's very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. There was a
yeah.
lot of us just improvising, trying to get something out, and a lot of me just trying to come up with things that might be funny but not offensive or out of what the movie is supposed to be. So there's a couple of wacky racist references and things like that that I just threw in there for myself. But yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna be going up there in around September or October to shoot the rest, just to finish the movie. So yeah, should be good.
So okay, so you're not wrapped yet.
We thought we were, but then he was able to crowdfund some extra money there for just some extra shots that because I was only up there for about 10 days. So we crammed as much as we could in those 10 days. At the same time, we were shooting at night mostly because of all the permits and everything. So we did a lot of... I drove in Boston. I don't even have a license here. So it was me driving the car in Boston at like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. And we shot a lot at night just to make sure that, number one, there wasn't people around to fuck the shoot up, but also just to have the freedom of recording for an hour without having the police or anyone coming. And it was the time that I got back here, like a week later is when this whole pandemic started and everything shut down. So even by the time that I was at the airport flying back, they were talking about how they were going to close airports. So my fear was that I was going to be stuck at the airport in Miami, I think it was, what is Tom Hanks in the terminal? And I just see myself just showering in the fucking bathrooms of the airport. So that was my biggest fear. But as soon as I made it here, that's when this whole thing happened. So it's been weird timing, but yeah, we're going to be shooting. And I also believe that your character was added to afterwards. So if the movie had been done, you wouldn't have been in it. So I see it as a positive more than anything. And also, I like traveling to the States, so it should be good.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, I'm drinking tonight. I'm having a rum punch, which I made. It is I'm gonna have to re-up pretty soon, but it's a concoction of dark rum, light rum,
Ugh.
orange juice, pineapple juice, lime juice, and grenadine. And
Woo!
I've been on a big reggae kick. If you follow me on the Instagram, and so when I went to the Caribbean a few years ago on a Disney cruise, and the entire time my stepson decided the itinerary, and he decided that I was going to go off on all of these adventures by myself. So he would have me go snorkeling. He had me go like fucking zip lining.
So
All
he
by
just wanted to get
myself.
rid. He just wanted to get rid of you.
He just wanted to get rid of me, motherfucker. And so
Yeah.
and so I'm there by myself with all these like Disney people, it's like young couples who just love Disney. There's like families, and I'm just kind of there like chilling, like, okay, I'm
where
going
did,
zip lining. I got a bad back.
where did it go? The cruise.
I went through
Do you remember?
St. Martin, St. Thomas, Barbados, I think a couple more places. I can't think of it now. We started in Puerto Rico, but as soon as we started getting to these islands, we were supposed to go to Jamaica, but I don't know what happened with that, but we didn't go to Jamaica. But every time I would always meet this like Caribbean dude who's like, "Hey man, you want some rum punch?" And he would just have this barrel of like cloves and all of these like herbs and just filled with rum. It's just been sitting there for months, and so I was just getting fucking tilted from what they had. And everywhere I would go, I would just order rum punch because that was the strongest stuff.
And they
And
knew. Yeah.
I would be on late night on the ship. They would show movies, like on the deck, and it was like Pirates of the Caribbean. And I'm just like getting just blasted off a rum punch, laughing like, Johnny Depp, he's so funny. Just it gives you a good, warm, nice buzz. So
I have a thing with rum, rum and Jaeger, where I can't even smell them because I drank too much of it once and I just threw up for like a day. So Jaeger, if I smell it, I feel like throwing up. And then the last time I had rum, just because I was like, fuck it, like it can't affect me that much. I had one drink of it and then I just threw up for the rest of the night. So I just think my stomach is just predisposed to not have either Jaeger or fucking rum at all, or I'll just not a good night.
I think rum is made of sugar too, isn't it, Trev?
Yeah. Well, so rum is made from refined sugar. It's made from generally like a combination of refined sugar and molasses, which is like a byproduct of sugar production. Whereas a lot of other sugarcane based distillates, such as like cachaça or rum agricole, are made from fresh cane juice. And I'm not sure what was that, guaro?
Yeah, let me research that. I should know this information.
I'd be
Drink it,
curious.
I
I've never had it. I've never heard of it. I've never been to Costa Rica, probably, which is probably why.
Let me see. It says distilled sugarcane juices.
Yep. So that's
And
like
it
a
says
fresh.
60 proof or 70 or 80 proof are also produced according to this thing. So, yeah.
Trevor, what do you? Trevor, what are you drinking? Trevor, what are you drinking?
Well, as an overachiever, I'm drinking two different things. I'll be enjoying throughout this discussion. Part of the reason is just because I wasn't ready for what I planned on drinking. But I'm gonna make it work. It's like part of the theme now. It's part of the two-faced nature of the film. I'm starting with something that's really good. It's the Botanist gin with some soda and lime. The Botanist is perhaps the most refined and tasty clear alcohol that you can find. It's a Scottish gin produced by the Bruichladdich distillery in Islay. They mostly make Scotch, and some of the world's best Scotch, in fact. But then they also make this gin made from wild forage botanicals on the island.
So that's the Nicolas Cage of the movie because he's the good one, right? Now what's the shitty one that you're drinking to compare to fucking Chocolato?
That's gonna exactly. That's gonna come later. And that I was inspired by the director John Woo. and I wanted to do some Chinese liquor, which a lot of people can't stand. I like it, but it's definitely wild ass funky shit. It's about the harshest, most eye watering thing you can drink. It's distilled mostly from sorghum, and I got there's several classes. I got the strong aroma, which is the funkiest, and that comes from the Sichuan province.
What's it called?
Is it
the three penis wine?
It's BYOB. BYOB. It's distilled from grain. They basically leave mostly sorghum, but a combination of grains that are fermented. They let them ferment in mud pits, full of insects and bacteria.
Right.
And then they distill the murky sludge that comes from that into a clear liquor. And they age it in clay pots.
That's crazy shit, man. All right, so
is it just strong? Is it dry? What is it? What does it taste like? I've never heard of it.
It's strong. It should be. They make it to various proofs, but the good stuff's usually around 52%, 104 proof.
Is it one of those drinks that like ancient Chinese people would drink on just like shots? You know how they're hardcore and just it's something that you don't really mix on a drink, but it's just like a shot to fuck you up.
Yeah, they drink it in these little cups. They're shaped like wine glasses, these tiny cups, and they drink it straight. And they'll have like 10 shots throughout a meal. And it's harsh. It burns. It's eye-watering. It smells kind of like a combination of tropical fruit, soy sauce, and garbage.
It's all the bugs.
You guys,
it's what they drink so that they can put up with the fact that their wife looks just like them.
Shots fired.
I'm Chinese. I can say it. It's fine. It's okay.
Oh yeah,
we're already getting
I
to
couldn't
the
decide.
here.
It is in fact.
You guys rap. You guys rap a bit. I'm gonna go re-up. I'll be right back. Keep rapping.
All right. I just wanted to make this point. It is in fact the best-selling spirit in the world. On any given day and on this planet, more people are drinking this stuff than anything else, than vodka, tequila, rum.
Well, I guess that's why everyone's trying to break into that market, right? There's so many Chinese people that if you're able to break in there and making a thing, you're going to make a shitload of money, right?
Oh, yeah. And that's certainly affecting the film industry.
Yeah. I just saw that, what is it, Space Jam was not approved to be played in China, so it's made like 30 million and it cost 150. They were banking on that just like every other blockbuster, not banking to make it in China. And if they don't, it's like 100 million loss that they're not going to be able to recoup because of China.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't looked into it, but I'd be curious why the Chinese government didn't approve it.
It's that's the thing with when you have a government that doesn't really have to respond to anyone. I think they just do whatever the fuck they want. So whatever rules they come up with, like you can't really question them because even if you do, they'll be like, all right, well, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. All right, cool. That's it. You just can't come in. But
there's no recourse.
And I really feel like it's a good thing that this Space Jam movie was rejected because hopefully blockbusters will start being fun again instead of just being marketed to appeal to Chinese people. Because like nothing against my own people, but it's also like there's so many things that you can't do because they'll get offended where it's not even fun anymore and everything just feels the same. Where I don't know. I was looking at because of this movie that we're going to talk about, Face Off, looking at box office records of the 90s and the diversity of movies that you would see. It's so much different than what you see now of at least the movies that make money. Like in 96 there's this Mel Gibson movie about his kid getting kidnapped and it made over $100 million. And now thinking of a movie that with a subject like that making that amount of money is almost impossible, really. Hopefully China rejecting a couple of these blockbusters and not letting them make all that money would make the industry reconsider what their goals are and go back to making interesting movies again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Cuckoo's Nest, what was a blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
I guess you would consider that because of the money that it made, and that's an amazing movie. You could never make a movie like that and make that amount of money now because people are so used to a different type of blockbuster, different type of big movie, where a movie that's pretty much a character study of this criminal would never make that amount of money. And Hollywood and all this machine has been so poisoned that whatever makes money now, it's you watch it and it's kind of like, all right, well, I don't understand who this is for. It's really not for me. But then you try to understand someone that would enjoy the thing that you're watching. And it's kind of like at least myself, I'm kind of like, I don't know who you made this for. Like I don't understand who enjoys this type of movies anymore.
Yeah, no, all of the emotions taken out and all of the perspective is taken out from like, like you mentioned Cuckoo's Nest, and Cuckoo's Nest is, I mean, it's directed by Milos Forman, but it's a Ken Kesey novel. It's about the American experience. It's about Jesus and his disciples. And it's about Chief Bromden. He's like
It's pretty much one location with one character that drives everything, and just like side characters that help a little bit. But it's all about like his conflict, and does he want to be a criminal and a cool guy, or does he want to be good? Or that you don't really see a character study like that anymore unless you watch like an independent movie, really. So expecting something like that to make $1 million, like I don't think that would even.
And yeah, not even like independent movies do that. It's like they don't even go that deep into, they'll go into like it'll be a character study, but who the character is like, who the fuck is, I don't know anybody like this. Whereas when you see R.P. McMurphy, you're like, I'm like that guy. Like that could be me.
Yeah.
I'm wild. I'm wild. I'm a pussy hound, crazy.
He's funny. He doesn't give a shit. He's funny. He makes fun of retards. Like it's just, yeah. He's just a guy with a personality that doesn't really fall into a little box that has to be sanitized and safe for everyone. He's just like a wild card.
Right.
And now, whenever you see a wild card in a movie, it's very toned down, and the wildness of it is that they're a little weird. Look at their haircut, and it doesn't really go past that, really.
So tonight we're talking about Face Off, and so why did you want to talk about Face Off?
Because it's the best bad movie I could think of. It's such a mess when you talk about the script and the dialogue. It's just not good in any way. But then John Woo made wonders with this script that was written by. I don't want to shit on the writers, but Jesus fucking Christ, none of it makes sense. All the whatever the characters go for, whatever motivations they have, you're just kind of like, really? That's the all right. I mean, fine. Remove your face and change your entire body so that you can talk to his brother, even though in a day he's gonna set himself free or whatever. Like. It's such a mess, but then visually and the action works so well that I don't know. I thought it would be a fun one to talk about.
One of the funny things I found was like, yeah, I mean, it is a bad movie in terms of like it doesn't really stick with you. It's not compelling. You're not going to be compelled. It's not profound. John Woo ended up doing, I was wondering about this because John Woo ends up doing like Mission Impossible 2, right? For Tom Cruise. And this is like 2 years after. And I'm like, well, what's the Scientology connection here? Like what's going on? Is he confusion, or is he like, so I was, it was kind of weird.
I think they just saw the movies that he was making on that side of the world, and they were like, "Hey, let's just do that in America." And then it didn't really work as well. You still get his visual style, and the action scenes in this work really well, but everything else, and when you look at his American movies, they're all kind of they're fun, I guess, but nothing really memorable. Which I guess is why he went back to his country to continue making his movies. But I honestly had not seen this movie for at least 10 years. And I just wanted to see, because of where their careers have gone, Travolta and Nicolas Cage, I wanted to see how bad slash good they were in this. And I really was not disappointed by both. Because I really thought that Nicolas Cage nailed it. Everything about it, like how over the top and cartoony he was perfect. But then Travolta, when he tried to reach that level, it was just bad. Like you don't believe his character, anything he says, like every action or when Cage becomes him, and he's playing the character that Nicolas Cage is supposed to be, you don't really believe it. Like you feel like it's obviously someone pretending to be someone else, and Nicolas Cage just went full in. So that was one of the things that surprised me on this rewatch that I did.
Well, I think that this is part of the writing. Is like you can only do as good as the writing. And if you look at Travolta 2 years earlier, he's doing Pulp Fiction, where he fucking nails it. He nails it because the writer is like, I'm writing this for Travolta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's going to be dancing. He's going to be saying cool lines. Like Tarantino knew how to use him because he loved early Travolta. And but when you get to this movie, Nicolas Cage stands out because Nicolas Cage is like, he's reading the script, right? And it's like, it's one note. It's one note. There's no humanity with this character. He's not a human. He's just pure evil. And it
wild.
Changes. It never changes. It never goes to like, oh no, there's this humanity with the Nicolas Cage character. Like, is his name Casper?
Castor Troy. Yeah.
Castor Troy. And there's
horrendous,
no humanity.
Horrendous names, by the way. Yeah. Every name in this movie is just who thought of this? I was wondering if John Woo wrote this just because of that. I was like, this seems like someone that doesn't speak English came up with these names, but no, it's just two white guys that wrote this. So
I didn't know.
I think that maybe I'm forgetting, but do we ever find out what Castor Troy? He's a terrorist, but what his political cause is? Do we even find that out ever?
Nope, he's just wild. He's just a cool guy.
I think that's like a very basic problem,
bro. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, but and he goes wild.
He's like the Joker. He's like, it's like, why are you blowing this stuff up? Because I like it.
Yeah.
My favorite scene happens within 10 minutes of the movie when he's in the plane. He punches a woman, or no, his brother punches that woman. And then he's hanging outside of the plane door as the plane is rushing, right? Or just running, trying to get away from the cops. And then he shoots the woman in the back and he goes, meh. That made me laugh for like half an hour. I was like, this is amazing. This is Nicolas Cage. Great. He understood what the character was and just played it to a T. The only scenes that I was kind of iffy about was whenever he tried to get emotional, because I didn't believe any of the emotional moments in this. But when Nicolas Cage was being Nicolas Cage, I was just like, all right, you got my respect. This is fucking amazing. Yeah.
When he first turns up and he's in that like priest uniform and he's doing that dance.
Yes.
He's like,
yeah.
This is such a good entrance, dude. It was like, like you were saying, he's like the Joker. He's just like, he's eating it up. The funny thing you were talking about is on the airplane. This is something I noticed about this character is like, why is it? And I think they do this on purpose to set the tone because he's like kissing this girl who turns out to be the FBI agent on the plane, but she's a mom. Like she's like not hot. She's wearing a fucking turtleneck and like a pantsuit. She's dressed like Hillary Clinton. And he's like making out with like suck on my tongue.
There is not one hot woman in this movie. Because also wait, hold on. I know where you're going. No.
Anthony loves Joan Allen.
I know. Yeah, I know. I know. But hold on. The scene, the scene when the Nicolas Cage character is in John Travolta's fat body and he's driving home. And then he sees her and goes, yeah! and stops the car. It's like, really? For that mom with that hair wearing that shit? He's like, oh my god, beautiful, hottest woman in the world. I'm like, that thin-lipped white woman that looks like a fucking lizard? I don't believe this shit. No, no.
She has a flatter ass than me, and I have a flat fucking ass. And like, and the other thing is like, Gina Gershon is like the hottest Jewish woman I've ever fucking, one of the hottest Jewish women I've ever seen.
I knew you were talking about her.
Is a beautiful woman. She's got
I forgot about her. You're right.
Beautiful eyes. She's exotic. She's fucking, she's so pretty. And she gets like the second fiddle. She's just like, oh, she's just the baby mama. Like, what? She's just this fucking tag-along broad who just fucking. She's the
slut that the terrorist fucks and got pregnant, and that's it.
Like, yeah. And he has like this fucking infatuation with Joan Allen. I'm like, Joan fucking Allen? Like, they set this character up like, oh no, this guy just likes MILFs. Like he likes like moms, not even MILFs, not like Lisa Ann MILFs. He's just like, no, he's just into moms. And they set that like with that FBI chick who he's like, suck on my tongue, and she's wearing this like green fucking turtleneck. And then he's like, oh, Joan Allen, she's so fucking hot, you know. But then he also like is like hitting on the daughter, and you're like, some Pornhub stepmom shit, like what, the stepbro shit, like what the fuck is going on in this movie right now? Like, what is happening? And Gina Gershon meanwhile is like, oh, this is just a fucking bitch who just won't fucking leave, and they kill her off.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, I
she
mean,
takes a bullet.
Yeah. To bring it back to Space Jam for just a brief second, I feel like the Castor Troy character, no matter which body it inhabits, has all the human believability of Bugs Bunny. Castor Troy doesn't like just whatever's there, whatever he that's what he wants. He'd kiss Elmer Fudd.
Right. It's also one of those movies where if you think about what's happening, it doesn't really make sense, because they tell Travolta, okay, so we need to find this bomb that's going to destroy California or something. So we need to change your face and your entire body so that you can look like this guy, so that his brother trusts you and telling you where this bomb is. So we're going to do this plastic surgery and transform you into a completely different person. And then we're just going to forget that you're in jail, because fuck you. Like, you're just in jail now, and everything is happening around you, and you're just in jail, and no one gets you out. No one knows that you're this other guy. Then the brother gets set free, and you're just there waiting, I guess, for something to happen. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And the fact that they told him, don't tell your wife or anyone. Okay, fine. You guys still know, though, so shouldn't, something help him a little bit? No, he's just in jail fucked, and now he looks like someone else, and that's it. Deal with it.
Yeah, and they have, is it John Cassavetes' son, Nick, who's like the brother in it? Oh. Right. And they're like, and he's just over the top, and the whole movie is like, this like I don't know how to feel about the movie. I try to get through it. I watched it twice. This was last week, and I was like okay. At the end, I was just like okay. I'll watch it, but I'll watch it on mute.
It's a fun, dumb movie. Like it's one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But again, the performances are so over the top that you're kind of like, oh, all right, I'll ignore all the plot holes and all the things that don't make any sense, things that happen just because there's an explosion or because Nicolas Cage is doing his thing. But I also found it really funny that all Nicolas Cage did was just put John Travolta's face on himself, but then all of a sudden he was fat like John Travolta, like he was big like John Travolta, like his body's completely different. Everyone's like, oh, I guess you're John Travolta now. That's fine. You're acting completely different than ever before, and you're much bigger than you were before. That's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah, I love that in the detective's office. They're just like, "Hey, did you get that bug out of your ass from your fucking
Yeah.
kid getting shot in the fucking head?" You know, like,
Yeah.
are you done fucking like being sore about that? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you
Well,
talking
even
about? Like, the guy's fucking. Of course, this guy's fucking angry, man. This fucking kid got shot and is fucking
but
dead.
even his wife, when she's like, before he gets the face taken off, she's like touching his little bullet scar or whatever, and she's kind of being like, "Are you gonna continue being a whiny bitch for the rest of your life?" Pretty much tells him that, and he's like, "Oh, my son, I need that bullet hole to remind me or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, fucking all right, fine." Like, but even then, you can tell that even his wife is not supporting his emotional, I guess, hurt for his child. But then once he shows up and he's completely a different person and he doesn't care anymore, he's like fun and charismatic and like, finger gun to everyone. And it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. You got just a stick out of your ass and now you're cool, I guess. That yeah.
Right,
It's just it's ignoring common sense, I guess, for you to be able to enjoy this movie. And if you're able to just turn off that, then it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. There's and then at the end when they adopt the kid, they're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we got the new son, so everything's gonna be fine now."
Well, I think it was really telling that all he did to do to defeat the Nicolas Cage inside of John Travolta character was just kick him in the balls and then kill him. Like that was a perfect ending for that character in the movie, pretty much. Just when he's cutting his face and then he just kicks him in the balls and kills him. And yeah, I guess that's what you would expect for an ending here.
I mean, this was like John Travolta's like, what do you do after Pulp Fiction? It's probably the best movie of the '90s. I think it's probably. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it all the time. I put it on if I get bored. It's such a well written movie, and he's so well cast in it. And afterwards, he's just riding that wave of like, what do I do next? And he's just like not into being in shape. Like he just wants to eat. The guy just wants to eat bread. He wants to eat bread and rice
He
and
wants to
potatoes.
he wants to eat bread and then kiss man at the bottom of planes and just
Yeah, yeah.
hang out wearing a wig.
Is he Is he an aggressive gay, or is he a bottom? Like where is
Well,
he? Where does he end up?
wasn't there rumors about him like going to gyms at like 3 a.m. and just talking to people at the gym?
I
At
know
3 in the
that.
morning?
I think he like groped masseuse, a male
Right.
masseuse, and then there was that whole controversy because he had to like pay him off or something. And so like
Just old Hollywood, right? I guess
I
just
guess
times are
so.
changing. You can't do that anymore. But someone that's been famous for what, 40 years? Right? 70s? When did Grease come out?
Yeah, I
Was
think
that
late
80s?
70s.
Late 70s, right?
Was Grease-
Isn't Cotter pre-Grease?
Who?
Or am I off here? Welcome back, Cotter.
Oh, maybe. I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
That's probably his real breakout role. That was like a popular TV show.
Yeah, but it was Saturday Night Fever and shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was definitely 70s because that soundtrack it like kind of defines the late 70s. That must have been like 78 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And all that's after Cotter.
I mean, he's a great. I don't want to disparage him as a performer. He's a great actor. Blowout is one of my favorite movies just because of his performance. He's so good in
That's
it.
great.
I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Tarantino modeled Pulp Fiction after, was how he was able to go kind of deep in that. But then he does Pulp Fiction, then he does Broken Arrow, and then he does Face Off, and he does
Be cool.
I mean,
Be Cool, yeah. Be Cool, yeah. Oh, he was great in what was that? Get Shorty. It was a great movie. It's a cool movie.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
Is that the
Michael?
one where the Rock is like a gay bodyguard?
Oh no, that's the sequel.
Ah, all right. I've only seen the sequel then. I don't know, but I just remember the Rock being like a gay cowboy or something in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. I and then Get Shorty was like Gene Hackman and
DeVito.
DeVito, yeah. I think they were producing. I think DeVito produced it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in this movie that really confused me. The 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 fact that they tried to make the face touching like a real touching things between family where Nicolas Cage was only able to convince her that he was the Travolta character by rubbing his hand down her face, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is my husband. Like this is our thing. He likes to touch my face with his dirty hand." Yeah, yeah. He would do it to his kid too. It shows at the beginning of the movie, just touch your face like this. Very, very, very emotional between a dad and his son.
And they do it at the end too with the new kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Daughter's
yeah.
like, hi, I'm Hal. Fucker named I'm like, why are you touching my face, bro? Like, get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. Weird, very weird movie. There's not much to get into. I mean, there's just like,
Well,
have you ever? Oh, go on.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there's several interesting spin-offs. Like in a sense, it's a rich alternate universe, because I'd like to see an expansion upon that weird prison that exists where people are glued to the floor. Like that could have been its own movie. And also, I feel like the idea of the just switching bodies thing could have made a cute romantic comedy, and there was fertile ground there. Like in a sense, Castor Troy improves their marriage, and that could have been a romantic comedy.
Well, he
In
finally
itself.
satisfies his wife, right?
Yeah,
Which is something that Travolta was unable to do. Because he grabs her ass, and she's like, "Oh no! Oh my God! He's grabbing my ass!" Like this big thing. But yeah, the prisoners wearing Super Mario Brothers boots. That was kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah. They never really even go in. There's the secret
Yeah.
prison that exists where
And
people
also-
are with magnetic boots.
They also invented 3D printing with this movie, where you just see the
With
thing
the-
just forming that ear and everything.
Yeah,
The face.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
grabbing Joan Allen's big flat ass.
Yeah. Well, he does grab when he's at the police station, he grabs like a detective's ass too, and everyone's just like, "Oh my God," and nothing happens. You know, before Me Too, before this fake outrage started, everything was so much fun, so much better.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna get away with everything.
Everyone's like, "Oh, John, you just what a rascal he is." That's it.
Yeah. One of the messages of the film is basically it's like you can get over your sad sack depressed bullshit if you are inhabited by the specter of a totally nihilistic supervillain who thinks of nothing but destruction and sex. That'll fix your marriage. It'll make your subordinates at work like you better.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone likes him so much better when he's not himself.
Yeah. Margaret Cho turns the frown upside down once Castor Troy inhabits the body.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Margaret Cho?
Yeah, that's Margaret
I-
Cho. She
just-
plays like the one of the subordinate police officers. And
She's
that
the one
I
that
guess
has the line about the stick in the ass, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're so bummed about your kid being killed. You get over it, man.
Yeah, just get over it and start partying.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the movie's about. Yeah, just can you stop being such a whiny bitch? Your kid is dead. Fuck it. Because even at the end when he's like, "Oh, you know what? I don't need that scar anymore," because they removed the scar for whatever reason. It's like I don't need it. Like that was a big moment of the movie. It's just like, can you fucking just.
It's just a fucking paycheck. They're just like, okay, how much am I getting paid for this? Cool.
Well, I think
Nicolas
you like
Cage. Nicolas Cage. I used to date a girl. She lived in Chinatown. I came out of her house one night, her apartment, and they
Was
were
she
filming.
Chinese?
They were filming. What's that?
Was he Chinese?
No, she was a white woman.
Have you
Blonde.
ever dated? Have you ever dated outside of your race?
Dated. I don't know what
All
is
right, that's a
dated.
no.
No, what
That's
is
fine.
dated? No. What is dated? What is that? Do you mean like casual sex? I've had casual encounters outside of
Okay.
my race. I've never been in a relationship
What's a
with
council
someone.
that casual encounter? That sounds like a Craigslist type of thing,
That's where the term originates,
right?
I think.
Yeah.
Casual
What do you mean? So
encounters? Yeah.
you've made out you've made out with people darker than you? Because
Yeah,
me,
no.
be
I've had sex with many partners that have been outside of my race, but I've
okay.
always found myself in relationships with like what either Jewish women or white Anglo-Saxons with
Yeah,
blonde
me
hair
too.
and blue eyes. That's kind of my
Mhm.
steez, if you will. And this this
Yeah.
this girl was blonde haired and blue eyed, and she lived in Chinatown. And but
Oh,
as
okay, so she was just a white poor person that lived there.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
she was a model,
Okay.
and so so she was living off of her bread from she modeled in Spain, so she was living off of her bread in Chinatown. And I remember leaving the place, and they were shooting the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is a Disney film that Nicolas
Nicholas
Cage was in.
Cage. Hmm.
Now I come outside, and Nicolas Cage has hair extensions like mine. Like he looked like
Yeah.
me in that movie with what my hair looks like now. And I remember seeing him, and he was so jazzed. He was really into the set. Like he was walking around, and he had this smile on his face that he was just really happy to be there. You know what I mean? Like, and I
he
think,
he he's a weirdo. He's weird. I heard an interview once where he said that he goes to the opera by himself because he likes to just cry. He likes
yeah,
to watch the opera and just cry watching the opera. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's a Renaissance man, I guess you can call it.
For
He
for
he he's kind of a Vegas figure. He lives
Hmm.
here part time
Oh
at
yeah.
least. Yeah.
Oh
He's
shit.
like one of those people you see when you go out, apparently. Everyone has like a Nick Cage story. And
Oh
yeah,
man.
he recently I believe wed or is very I think he's married to her. His new love is of the Asian persuasion and
yeah,
much younger, of course.
yeah.
Of
No,
course.
he to me he seems zoned out. Like he's just zoned out. He likes, and I think if you're in that industry, you have to be like that to do a good
I
job, to do a good performance.
Well, he's also like a Coppola, right?
He's a Coppola, yeah.
Yeah, so you have
Yeah,
this
yeah.
family that's been successful and
But
rich for
let me tell
so
you,
long, but
if
yeah.
neither of you guys, if I ever have that kind of money that he had, and you guys let me buy like dinosaur bones and shit, I'm gonna be very upset. Like who?
Why?
Like the reason because like he's doing Sorcerer's Apprentice not because he wants to. This motherfucker
No.
has to work. If he doesn't work, like he's fucked. So he's gotta like keep working, and it's like
But hold
he
on, hold
puts
on. So you're
himself.
telling me are you telling me that you wouldn't do the Sorcerer's Apprentice so that you can buy dinosaur bones? Because I would. I fucking
I'm telling you
I'll
right
get a
now. I'm telling you right now. I work on sets. I'm doing this right now. I'm doing it every day, Monday through Friday. I'm telling you, these people are not happy. These people are fucking. It is not
Hmm.
a fun job. It is a
Hmm.
fucked up job. I saw him, and he was zoned out, and that's fine, cool. But like normal fucking people, if you do that job, it is miserable. It is like one of the most miserable
Hmm.
jobs you can do. Not saying it's the most laborious. I'm saying it's the most miserable, meaning that like nobody's
Just
having
movies.
fun. Yeah,
Do you mean
nobody's
just do you mean just
movies.
movies that you don't really believe in and you just do it for the paycheck type
Yeah,
of thing?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
TV
Well,
shows, movies, all that.
I believe that most working people are miserable, except for me, of course. I'm stoked. Maybe, maybe,
Listen,
maybe.
I've been working at call centers for like the past 10 years. So working on a fucking shitty ass movie that's gonna pay me $1 million to be a shithead on screen, I would take that over 12 hours of this job where I make $5 an hour. So maybe that
That's
life is not, it's that sounds a little bit better to me. Also because like I always enjoy him on everything. Like I know that he's not an amazing actor always, but even when you watch a bad Nicolas Cage movie, you can enjoy how bad he is because he's bad in it. So I try to get like a little bit of enjoyment out of that. His career is really varied, and he's done a lot of very different things from each other. Starting with, that vampire movie where he plays like a completely over the top vampire, and Ghost Rider and shit like you wouldn't expect him to do, that are completely over the top and crazy. Um, so the fact that he's like a renaissance, like weirdo, old school, crazy person, it kind of makes sense to me. But I don't know if I would prefer that type of misery, like you're saying, or the type that I'm currently living now, where I'm not miserable, like I'm not unhappy, but I also wish I didn't have to work a job that pays me for dealing with shitty Americans over the phone.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
it's like a,
Nicholas.
a balance of, yeah, like
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
Nicolas Cage is a special case because he seemed like in bliss. Like he was in total bliss when I saw him walking up on this set. He was just like he was so blissed out. I can't even I mean, he was just like smiling and just like, wow. Wow. Now you cut to what I'm doing right now, where I'm working on a set on a TV. It's a television show. It's been around for 12 seasons. You see the actors there.
Can you talk about it?
I can't say the show, but I could talk
Okay.
about the actors on the show.
Okay.
The
Who's
actors
the
on the
who's the main, who's the main star? What's the
I
show
can't
about, and what's it
I
called?
can't talk about any of it.
Okay.
Fucking fired. But
That was that was funny. That was really funny.
but but they are not happy. In fact, if you get in their eye line, if you come in, if you're just on set, right, and you're doing your thing, I'm an extra. I do extra work. I'm a fucking labor worker, right? That's what they call you. If you get in their eye line, meaning they can see. They say, "Hey, I can see that guy, and it's fucking with my shit." And the AD comes up to you, and if the AD comes up to you, that's bad because the AD is
Was
the
that?
assistant director. That
That's
is,
a Christian Bell thing, right?
yeah, oh yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, "You're in this guy's eye line. You have to get the fuck out."
See, but do you think that they're not happy because? And no offense, because you're like an actor. I don't really consider myself an actor, but I know that most actors are mentally ill and think highly of themselves, even though they're not that much. Because acting is not really that fucking difficult. It's just pretending to be someone else. It's just like it's not you're not working at a fucking mine for 12 hours, so it's not that serious. And most actors, again, no offense, I'm not talking about you, are pretty fucking stupid. So I just mean, like, do you think that they're miserable because they believe they deserve better, and they're miserable in the fact that they're not bigger, or because the job is actually that bad? Because honestly, the couple of times that I've been on a set, because I went to school in London for film, and I was on set a couple of times with a couple of big people, and they just seem miserable to me, and I was like, okay, I'm here doing like lemming work, like making nothing, and you're getting paid millions to pretend to be someone, and you're still miserable. That tells me that it's more to do with like the mental illness that actors have, thinking that they deserve something better, other than the job is like a miserable thing to do. Because honestly, if you're working on set for 6 hours and you're getting paid $1 million, I know they're getting paid more. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. But it's also that ego thing of like, well, I deserve better than this, so I'm gonna be miserable because I'm not getting that.
It's all ego. It's
Yeah.
all ego. It's all like, if I have long hair. I work with people that don't have long hair. I work with people that are losing hair.
Hey,
Okay? So
yeah.
when they look at me, their fucking smile turns upside down.
Mhm.
And so for me,
So
they're gunning for me. They're going, whatever this guy does, and I have tattoos and shit. I got sleeves, They're like, if this guy does one fuck up, he's out.
right. So
And
it's more of
so-
an insecurity thing on their mental illness,
Oh yeah.
other than the job is a miserable thing that should make you sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it feels like a cushiony thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna be paid $2 million to pretend to be this person for a couple hours a day for a month, and what a drag. Like, that to me sounds like the most privileged thing, and I hate that word, but that sounds like the most privileged thing in the world to me, mostly because I'm fucking 35 years old and I'm trying to make something in the film, but also I can't make any money with it right now, so my regular job is shit that I have to take from shitty Americans that just call to complain to me, where I'm making no money,
it's
just
all
enough
luck.
to survive.
It's all
Yeah.
luck. It's all luck.
Right.
And all those people that got in are lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't
They don't
want you
realize
to,
that.
they don't want you to fuck with that, because they could be out of a job.
Right.
The other thing is, like, there's directors involved. So you see the director, and director's a pussy hound, and he just wants pussy. He sees you talking to the girl that he likes, you're fucked. Any little step that fucks with their ego, because like you just said, it's not really a job that is like you're calling people every day, or you're working.
It's not a real life job, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it's not a real
Yeah.
life job. So
Yeah.
so because it's not real life, it's just all based on ego. And if you fuck with their ego, they're like, fuck you. I mean, literally, fuck you.
Who is the happiest member of the royal court?
The happiest member is the producer.
Of the royal court.
Yeah, the
The
royal
buffoon.
court. I can't.
Well,
I
no,
can't,
because
I can't
no,
go
because
into. I can't go into. The producer on the show that I'm working on is
Not the
also-
show you're working on.
Okay.
The royal
you just
court.
mean like medieval, like a.
Yes.
I would say the jester, but it's also
Yes.
somewhat. But also, the jester has the pressure of you have to make them laugh, otherwise they cut your head off. So I don't know how much of that pressure will get to you, where you're just like, well, I have to be entertaining and funny, otherwise they're gonna cut my head off and replace me with someone else.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
once
make-
your head is cut off, your predicament is over.
I guess so, yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe the jester, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm.
and the jester has no ego.
But the premise is all wrong, because in this job there's no jester. I mean,
Mhm.
you can be a jester, but you have to be like,
Well, no, your job just sucks. I'm making a greater point about things.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to sort of follow up with that. Is that is that in this gig you can be a jester, and those jesters, it works for them, but I'm not a jester.
Okay, so on the set of The Big Bang Theory, which is where you're working now, is Jim Parsons? I don't even know if that show's still going. I don't know. I don't know. But because that's something that I don't understand about Hollywood. That since everything is driven by ego, like how I guess it's difficult for me just growing up in a third world country and seeing the way that people live here, where they're just content with very little. It's very difficult for me to understand how someone that makes $1 million an episode can be miserable. And I guess it comes with the money doesn't really necessarily mean happiness, but it makes happiness easier if you let it. But at the same time, it's like how easy can you fall into that trap of thinking that you deserve more than what you're getting, even though you're successful? When you start believing like your own bullshit and you start smelling your farts as like something sweet and tasty, where everyone should be calling your praise instead of this is just a job, which is pretty much what it is, really, right?
When you talk about ego, you're talking about superficiality.
Yeah.
So when they see me, they see long-haired, kind of
We get it.
handsome guy.
We get it. Your hands. We understand. All right.
Right.
We're fine.
So,
Nice
okay.
hair, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Fine. Harvey Weinstein is disgusting, and you're not. Okay, Anthony.
Sure.
We
man.
understand.
Hey, let me tell you something. Let me say. If Harvey Weinstein saw me, and I'm like,
He would ask you to jerk off in front of you.
Yeah,
Is that what- Hey, come join me in the shower, Tony. take a look at what I have. This little pud.
yeah, and I don't
that's
have
the
the
court
little
gesture.
pud. I don't have the little pud. I happen to have a good medium-sized
A-
dick, and
a
so
penis. Yeah.
so I have a lot going for me. Now, when you're dealing with a director who's like a fucking pussy hound and wants to just fuck whatever's around, you are on the top of the public enemy list.
I
And
really
so-
want to know what show you're working on right now. I'm very curious as to who this director person is.
It's the Teletubbies.
He's not only he's not only the director. He is also the lead producer.
Okay.
And he's one of those guys that, like, you can tell he hates New York. All he does is go from his SUV to SUV to his place and just gets pussy sent to him via, delivery. And
do you like New York? Are you from there?
I've been here 16 years. I fucking hate it. I'm trapped.
Oh, okay. Because I've been there and I really didn't think it was that great. I almost got assaulted by a homeless person at 2 a.m. when I got lost in the train. So I was like, I don't know if this is for me, really. Everything is so expensive and everything is so shitty and everything smells like shit. And I was like, well, if I want something to smell like shit, I'll just stay in Costa Rica and go to the city, Like, why am I paying $800 for a night to stay in a place where I might get mugged and beaten up and then walking around, everything smells like shit?
Does San Juan smell as bad as New York?
San Jose. San Juan is Puerto Rico.
Or San Jose. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
San Jose stinks pretty bad. Yeah. San Jose is like the capital, so that's where the biggest urban area is, I guess. And that's where the homeless people are and where the stink is.
Does it smell as bad as New York?
I don't know if anything smells as bad as New York, but it smells pretty bad. But the good thing about San Jose is that if you leave the city just a little bit, you have beaches like an hour away, you have mountains an hour away, so you can just get away from it very quickly. By the time that it takes you to go from one side to New York to the other, you can cross the entire country and go to like the most beautiful beach you've ever seen. So even though living in the city like I do, it's not the greatest, and you get the worst type of people, the worst type of Latin American people in the city. All you have to do is just drive an hour and a half away, and then you get away from it. So it's great in that regard, I guess. But if you do go to downtown San Jose, it's pretty terrible. Yeah, it's not. You're gonna get you'll get mugged if you're not careful. I live in an area of San Jose that's not that bad, thankfully. But not in the downtown area. I live like 40 minutes away from the downtown. But if you go downtown, which is where most tourists go when they get here, not sure why. That's where all the the stores are and most people are, and it's just not great. But again, like you're just an hour and a half away from a beautiful beach. So what most people do to put up with it is on the weekends they just have a getaway and just go and get shitty and drunk at the beach, and that's how they were able to put up with all the shittiness that comes with a third world country city, I guess. Where in New York, there's not really that, you know. I guess you can go to Coney Island and get mugged in a different way than you would get mugged in another place. I don't know. Again, I'm very ignorant. I'm very ignorant when it comes to New York, just because I've only had one experience that one time I went, but it wasn't a great experience. So now, I'm kind of biased when it comes to New York, really.
New York stinks, and that's why I wanted your perspective on the smell, because I find New York to have a very unique stench that is really only matched by certain cities in like South Asia, India, you know, like that part of the world. I've never encountered a stench like that in Europe or elsewhere in North America.
It's also a very weird weather where if it's hot, it's just very humid and it just stinks. I don't know. I was there in the summer and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it's just leave the apartment and just, I was in an oven of just sweat and armpit and just garbage and just, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anthony. I hope I'm not insulting your the place where you live at. I hope you're not taking this person.
No. I mean, as soon as I'm done with this gig, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to like the Mohawk Reservation in like upstate New York and just fucking chill there.
Well, listen, a lot of Americans, what they do is they just come here and they go to this retirement, well, not retirement place. So they have cabins on top of trees, and then they just do ayahuasca for like a week and throw up for a week, and then they pretend to have like an experience, spiritual experience, which just means that they're just dehydrated and shitting and vomiting the whole time. But that makes them into a new person for whatever reason. So that happens a lot here. We do have a lot of, what do you call them, expats? Where it's just American people that come live here with a little bit of money. They buy a property and they open whatever business near the beach and they live the rest of their life like that. If you go to any type of beach area, you will see like bookstores and like cafes owned by Americans where they just, I don't know, like $100,000 and they're able to live for the rest of their life comfortably, just with a very relaxed life. So it's like an escape for a lot of people that are used to living in a big city like you right now. So maybe, 10 years. How old are you? Like, you're in your 30s, right?
I am 37 years old, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in like 10 years, I think that would be like a viable option to just, or at least that's what I'm. When it comes to this movie, like, I really don't want to be like an actor. Like, I don't like attention at all. Like, I don't like being recognized and shit. Like, that shit makes me really uncomfortable. But my dream is to just make enough money where I can just retire and own a house and just live in the wild with my wife and chill. And that's it. And I know that I'll be able to do that here. I just need like the one thing to hit. And I know that if I'm able to make, I don't know, a couple $100,000, that I can just live the rest of my life in places like this, where you just a very comfortable, very relaxed life without a lot of whatever bullshit you guys deal with up there with, politics and all. Everything has politics in it and everything affects this type of person. And all. We don't have that shit here yet. It's slowly creeping in, like the whole identity politics and all those things. Like, it's slowly creeping in, but we're such old school people that most of the people here don't really go for that. It's mostly just like younger women that really believe that shit. So it's still kind of unmatched when it comes to things like that, I guess. But I'm hoping that with low res, like, I'm able to make a couple of movies and then cool, that hit, awesome. I'll fucking retire and that's it. Just because I don't like the attention. I don't like the people recognize you type of thing and like bother you and shit. Like, I could never deal with that shit,
Yeah, that's the dream. I mean, the dream is just to make a couple bricks and then get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I in terms of like low res, I think low res has the talent, the drive to make it happen. And if I can be like a Michael Madsen for him, That would be my ideal gig, is to be a
Right.
Michael Madsen. I mean, that dude writes like poetry books and just chills and
Yeah.
fucking, wears
Oh, dude.
turquoise and fucking, you know what I
Listen,
mean?
I've been doing things with him for what, like 10 years, I think. We started talking in a very odd way, which was on Tumblr. We started talking because we both liked Opie and Anthony, that radio
Sure,
show.
sure, 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 sure.
For whatever reason, we found ourselves and we were like, all right, well, we think this is funny, so that's where our relationship started. But I feel like our relationship is a lot of just like I have fun doing the things with him. So even though I've literally made like no money on anything that I've been doing with him, like it's just fun for me. Like even though I do have to have like a regular job and do whatever, like whenever I do something with him, we have really good chemistry. So it's just like it's fun for me. It's like an outlier thing, like an extra thing that I do where it's just this is fun. The fact that it's recently getting a little bit of track and a little bit of attention is great, but at the same time, it's not really what I want. Like I think I'm a little bit more toned down when it comes to that stuff. Like I don't really like interacting with people that much, and I'm very reserved when it comes to shit like that. So that's the dream, I think. Just like do a couple of projects with him that hopefully will hit, and then just be able to retire in like a farm or something like that, where I can just live a chill life and not have to pay so much attention to, you can't say those things because people will cancel you, and then you won't be able to do the thing you want. Like that. That is, it's such an American thing that it. I don't understand how that can be a thing because I live in a place where that doesn't happen. But it's also like, well, my girlfriend that I'm probably going to be marrying soon. I've been drinking, so I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm probably going to be marrying soon.
Don't do it.
She's American. She's American, so we will probably be moving there soon. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if what's happening over there is ideal or like everything that when it comes to politics and quality of living up there is really what I want by the time that I'm 40. Like I'm 35 now.
Well, bro. You
Yeah.
gotta, first of all, in terms of politics, you gotta just say goodbye to it.
Right.
It's a waste of fucking time. It's a waste
Yeah.
of energy. It's a waste of,
Yeah.
it's a waste. It's a waste.
Yeah.
Politics suck, and nobody has
Yeah.
the right ones, and it doesn't fucking matter, man. It doesn't
But
fucking
also,
matter. You know what?
but hold on.
If you get into it, wait. If you get into a
Yeah.
room where somebody asks you about politics, they start talking, you just say, yeah, okay. Yeah, I want communism. I want socialism. I want, whatever you want, I'm fucking down for. Yeah, people should have food. People should have, because, when you think about it.
Food grows on trees, man.
Yeah.
That's what we have here. Listen, all your vegetables are in fucking bags. That sucks. Like, we don't get that here. So I don't want to go up there so I can have fucking cut up melon in a bag from Walmart. Oh, that's great. It tastes like nothing, instead of me getting it off the tree like we get here.
However you want to live is how you want to live. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when you're dealing with people.
Right.
You just say, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that hard because you're an actor. It's like, I don't give a fuck what your politics are. Okay, sure. All right, fine. I don't care. Like,
well, I guess
I don't care. I don't have any like. I don't care. Why? Because if you look at politics, you look at how things work. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets changed. Nothing,
right.
So you might as well just say, fuck it. Okay, I'm a socialist. And everyone should have homes, and everyone should have food, and everybody should have, what I mean? It's just like, you don't have to fucking get into it. Like, you just say, yeah, you're right. You're so right. And I wish that we could live like that. Why don't we live like that? I want poor people to have, a pot to piss in and all that stuff. Like,
right.
Just, did you sign the check? Because if you don't sign the check, I can't fucking eat like we're talking about here.
That's the thing.
Day, the job that I have is like, just send the check. You know what I mean? Just like send the check so I can just do whatever the fuck I want. I don't give a fuck what your politics are. I'll agree with you. Just send the
Well,
check.
I guess my issue is that my girlfriend has family in Vegas. No, wait, in Arizona and in California. My issue is that if we do end up moving to California, like taxes and all those things that affect your regular life, like doesn't matter how much money you make, if you're gonna end up paying more than you're supposed to, and then have to deal with a government not doing things properly, that's where I'm kind of like, all right, well, I have to really weigh my options and see, right now I live comfortably making $5 an hour. I can't do that in the States because if you're making $5 an hour in the States, you're homeless, right? It doesn't matter what state you're in. Like you're pretty much homeless. You're not able to pay rent or anything.
Yeah,
So,
but bro,
right,
if you moved to LA, you'd be making like $15 an hour
right.
for doing the same fucking gig.
I guess.
And you're paying taxes.
But then you're also spending those 15 though. Like here I'm making
Sure.
5, but I'm spending half of it and I'm able to save that other half. But if I'm up there, like with everything more expensive and everything,
No. Trevor. Come on. Trevor is the most like in terms of me, he is the most frugal person in the world. So Trevor,
Pretty frugal, yeah.
Yeah, how do you live?
Very good at that too. Yeah.
Well, that's part of the reason I live here. I have very cheap rent. I make a decent wage. It compared to California, Las Vegas is very cheap. It's not the cheapest part of the United States, but that's not all that matters to me. In spite of my frugality, I want to live somewhere that's fun, and this is a fun place to live. And I can drink outside, and I can walk to the Strip from my apartment, which is cool. So to me, that is a good deal. I can go to one of the most visited places in the world easily. It's a 15-minute walk from my very inexpensive apartment to be in a place where people spend thousands of dollars to go.
Yeah.
And I make a decent living here. And so that's why I feel like it's a pretty good value to live here.
Right.
And you can make that assessment about places all over the world because there's always going to be a different cost of living and a different wage and a different quality of life. And you have to kind of work between those three factors. And as far as the United States goes, there are still places that are really good as far as that quotient goes. There are places in the United States that I believe offer a good quality of life to wage to fun ratio, although there aren't as many as there should be, or there probably used to be. And I believe there are probably more in Latin America. I haven't been to Costa Rica, but I've spent some time in Mexico, and I've enjoyed the hell out of that. And I think that you can really have a good time there and live for cheap. So at the end of the day, it just depends on what you want, I guess.
Well, I think our thinking is just go to the States and save up and just make money for 10 years and then just end up moving back to one of these countries where you're able to just have a very comfortable life without a lot of hassle and a lot of anything that's taking your money or anything like that. But yeah, I guess that's like go on.
Before I got this gig, I mean, I was going to do wash repair. I was going to do retail. I was going to do whatever the fuck I could get. And then this thing fell in my lap and was like, no. You just show up here like whenever we tell you, and you just do this for 9 months. And you make brick. We're going to cut your hair. We're going to do whatever. So America.
So Anthony, are you drunk enough to tell us what show you're working on yet?
No, I can't do it. I don't want to.
God damn it!
I
God
don't
damn!
It's the Family Matters reboot.
You play Urkel. You're the Urkel character.
It's the Welcome Back Kotter reboot. He plays Vinny Barbarino. Full circle. He's the new Travolta. That's it.
And you saw earlier. I shared I'm on Instagram. I was in the New York Times. Now, when I was in the New York Times, I was in the Post, I was in the Wall Street Journal, I was in LA Times, I was in every single fucking news publication. But at that time, I couldn't afford to buy the paper.
It's theater, right? No one cares about theater.
Right. I couldn't afford to buy the newspaper. But now I can. I mean, I worked 3 days and I worked 35 hours in 3 days. Make I make $178 a day. After it goes past 8 hours, I make $35 an hour.
So when you're working on the Burn Notice remake, is this when you? I'm sorry, I just love that show. I try to bring it up on every.
It's a good show.
I try to bring it up on anything I do just because everyone seems to hate that show and it's one of my favorite shows of all time. But if you were working on a Burn Notice remake where you play like the main spy that gets never caught or whatever, I don't know. I just the life of an actor seems so exhausting to me just because I don't think I'm good at it, and also I'm not good at dealing with people's egos. Like I'm very this person that's talking to you right now, where I just like I just say things that I'm not supposed to, and I'm just I just don't really keep anything to myself. So I'm not great when it comes to you have to respect this person's ego and not insult them or anything. But
yeah. I'm the same way. But for me, it's about the money. Mm-hmm. Just keep the stack coming and keep the checks coming, and I'll be fine. But I'm the same way. I mean, to me, in terms of like eyeline shit, all that does is tell me that you're a bad actor and you don't know how to deal with anything.
Right.
But like, yeah, I mean, I have the same things too. It's just like, it's more like being Machiavellian and shutting the fuck up and knowing when to talk and when not to talk, and then witnessing who has power here and who doesn't. You just shut up and you wait till they tell you what to do. So when they tell me that they're going to cut my hair, they're going to cut my fucking hair. And all this fucking naughty dread shit is going to end, and all my power is going to be drained, but I'm going to still fucking do it. Why? Because the fucking checks are coming in.
So are you going to be wearing white dreadlocks on the new season of fuck, I forgot what that show is called. God damn it. Broad City.
Notice?
The one with the girls. What's the girls show? Broad City, right?
Well, this situation,
the Jewish woman.
No, this situation is unique because of the COVID variant. So because of the COVID variant, I'm going to make like 60 large.
Wait, what's this? What's a variant?
The variant is the Delta variant, the Lambda variant. So a lot of these big shows are doing these closed sets where you can only work on one show. You're part of a pod. There's like 40.
So the vaccine doesn't matter anymore if you got it because there's variants. Is that what they're doing now?
It fucking shouldn't. Everyone should just get vaccinated and just fucking do it. But it does on this show.
I don't even want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like whatever. But like that's what I'm saying. Is like you have to cancel out the politics for the money because the money is like stupid. It's stupid money for what you have to do. It's just stupid. I mean, it's literally stupid. And so, cross your T's and dot your I's and shut the fuck up and stay in the background and just like, do whatever the fuck they tell you. I mean, there was a girl that was working and she got fired the first day. She didn't show up the second day.
What did she
And
do?
that's because she yelled at a fucking production assistant. A PA. It's like the lowest tier. And so you are the lowest tier. You know, doing background work
Yeah.
is the lowest tier.
Mhm.
And so,
Lower than the caterers.
lower than the caterers. And
Well,
so
yeah.
by the time I'm done with it,
Lower than the janitors.
there's no janitors, but they're lower than the
If
caterers.
there were,
Probably. I mean, they clean the
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Everyone has to shit. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It would
yeah.
be lower than that.
I'm
yeah.
just curious. Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I worked camera reference on Avengers: Age of Ultron, and what that means is that you're just recording with the camera the movements that literally little Irish men, because that's who plays the superheroes. It's just these five Irishmen that are like 5'4", very agile. They have PVC weapons, which is what they use for like the shield and like whatever weapons they use in the Avengers movies. But there's just little Irishmen that do all the flips and all the action scenes. I was working a reference camera, which is record them, and then they put effects on top of it. And even then, like I was like, all right, well, this job is pretty fucking easy. All you have to do is just capture them, and you have like a wide lens, so it's not really much you can do. So you can survive by doing that job. I have a friend that has worked on every Marvel and every like Star Wars movie since then. I was very unlucky because I'm not European. So when I was there, I was hired for that Avengers Age of Ultron shot. And then they wanted to hire me to do the first Star Wars J.J. Abrams movie, but my visa expired like a week later. So they were like, oh, well, if you're able to renew your visa by yourself, then we can hire you. And now I'm in fucking Costa Rica working in call centers while my friend is working in like Dumbo and all these Marvel productions, right? But I feel like there's so many roles in that industry where you could just get in and do pretty much the bare minimum and get paid properly. But at the same time, it's like, do you really? I don't know. Like being part of that machine and being part of that thing, it's fine for a while. But I just feel like I'm 35 now. I can't see myself doing something that's as demanding as that for 10 more years and then just still be like a 45-year-old completely bald or white doing something like that and feeling fulfilled. And I feel like a lot of these film people stick around for a long time just because they're afraid of losing that instead of seeing that, there's a little bit of life outside of that bubble
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
creating that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to
I don't mean to
me-
depress you or make you like sad about this, but yeah,
Yeah, dude,
I don't know.
I'm making so much. I made a G in 3 days.
All right,
I
yeah,
made a grand.
yeah. You're killing it. Yeah, I'm
But-
dealing with retards over here that don't even know how. It takes them 4 hours to change a fucking password on a computer. So we're dealing with different levels of people. Yeah.
You do what you do, and you make your bread. But of course, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I'll whatever the fuck I end up on is whatever I end up on. But like,
So
if they're
what's
gonna pay me-
what's your ideal career path for the next 10 years, let's say? So by the time you're 40, you're saying you're 37 right now, right?
Yeah, this is like some fatherly shit right here.
Okay. So let's say by the so let's say, listen, I'm a stepdad, so I feel you. So by the time that you're 47, where would you like to be realistically?
Motherfucker, I would be on a beach.
Yeah.
Just be close to
Well,
the
there it is. There it is. Yeah. That's my thinking too. It's just like I would love to do this thing for as long as it allows me to have a regular, relaxed life. Hopefully, not more than over 50, where I'm just, because I know I will be fat and just shitty and disgusting because I know that.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
No, I know I'll give up in a couple of years. Listen, you can't really hold it up for that much. I know I'll give up in like 10, 15 years. I'll just be like, you know what, babe, to my girlfriend, I just fart now. It just happens, you know. It's horrendous. I am sorry. You know, like it comes a time where you're just like, this is just me now. So I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping that by the time that I'm like 50 or something, I'm able to just, all right, now I have a house at the beach, and fine, maybe I can still do some film work at some capacity, but I can also just go to the beach and fucking drink and eat and shit my brains out if I feel like it and live comfortably without worrying about, you know, am I gonna be able to pay the bills for next month, which is my current life right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to fart as much as you want.
Mm-hmm. Just fart and tell your wife to shut up about it. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, if I meet a girl and I really love her, and she's got to be blonde haired and blue eyed, of course.
What? Are you
I'll
married?
I'll go into the bathroom. What?
I thought you were married. What is this? I would never say that. Listen, if I was able to find someone that's completely the opposite of my wife, I would probably be happy. No, no, but yeah, no, I feel what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactamundo. If
It's just. I also feel like a lot of the time people that get into the film industry, they have an idea of it that's much bigger than what it actually is. Like, not everyone is going to be able to make their own movie. Not everyone is going to be able to get into a studio that's going to give them a shitload of money to make their own thing. So
it sucks.
I feel like
it sucks.
I feel like
no
yeah, I feel like
it sucks.
I feel like most people that get into this industry are a little bit delusional. But I try to keep my feet on the ground and just be like, you know what? I just want to be comfortable by the time I'm 50, you know. And if I'm able to accomplish that, then fucking awesome. And if not, then I'll probably just, you know, hope that my wife is happy and I'll just kill myself, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. It's like
look, Hans, don't kill yourself. Okay, because
not yet.
Because
no, yeah.
because you don't want to hinder your happiness
right
on that.
Yeah.
Because there's always adventures to go on. And if you can go on an adventure, who gives a shit if anybody sees it?
Yeah.
You do it yourself, man. You just fucking go and you do it. And you know, Trevor is the one who inspired that, because he just said, fuck it. And he just went. And that's what you do. You don't have to fucking, who gives a shit about acting?
Yeah.
It's the same thing about giving a shit about, like, you know, being a roofer. Who gives a shit, man? You just pick up a job where you pick up a job. We're men. We don't fucking care. There's no fucking reason behind it. You do what you do to get the bread, and you get the bread and you get the fuck out. You go to the next fucking gig, man. And fuck them if they don't fucking want to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit? But like, we could do whatever the fuck we want to do. Right. Because we're able and we're smart and we know what to do and we know how to fucking act. And that's all you have to do. You just know how to act. It doesn't mean that you got to be an actor. It just means you know how to fucking act wherever the fuck you are. And you tell them whatever the fuck you think they want to hear. And they fucking respond to it. You know what I mean? Like, I was going to do watch repair. Okay. I went and worked with the watches and removed the battery. Cool. I'm going to be in the union. You know what I mean? I'm going to be in the union for that. They were going to put me in the union. They wanted me.
I thought you were supposed to be like 60 to be accepted in that. I don't know if young people do that. Yeah.
Able-bodied. Yeah. We want you to be involved in it. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what you do in your life, man. As long as you are cool and you ain't got no monkey on your fucking back, and you ain't got no fucking alimony or fucking or fucking child support or anything like that, you're fucking good. And if you find a girl that's cool, fine, have a baby with her and, have that fucking life or whatever. But fuck it, dude. Like, you're a handsome, talented guy. You could do whatever the fuck you want to do. And it doesn't hinder on politics. It doesn't hinder on whatever the fuck. Cause you just go, you just say, oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Fuck it. Socialism, man. Fuck it. Why? Because you're just making the bread. You're just cutting the check. And you're depositing in that shit. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think you just gotta get to a point where you're just able to just chill. And that's it. Like if you're able to just chill and just I'm cool with spending a weekend doing nothing. And you know what? That's great. I feel great doing nothing.
My entire life, entire life has been based around doing nothing. I don't do anything. I don't do nothing. I do nothing. That's why we're called Slothcast, because I do nothing. I do nothing. Right. And now I'm doing something, and the something is nothing. Bro, it's like you walk from here, you walk to there, you don't say anything, you just shut the fuck up, and you walk, and you walk, and you stand. And that's it.
Well, your something is just acting like they're not doing anything, right?
Yeah. I don't give a fuck if I'm on a Tarantino set. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what to do. What the fuck you want? You want me to shovel shit? Fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You gonna pay me? Yeah, those checks are coming. What's it doing? It's feeding into my pension.
Yeah.
I give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about like any of this stuff. Like people come in your life, they go in your life. You just fucking shrug it off, brother. Because if you get held up, you're fucked. Ain't nobody gonna fucking hold you up. Nobody's going to hold you up. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. I'm saying you live like Trevor. Trevor said, fuck it. Now Trevor's in love. So now he's being told what to do. But, at a certain point, he's going to say, fuck this shit too. I'm not dealing with this shit either. So you got to just, you just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Like, love comes in and you get all fucked up emotionally. But at the end of the day, bro, you can come here and to America, make your fucking living and not give a shit. Like there's this, our generation, there's all this importance on like, you got to be somebody, you got to do something. Nobody's doing nothing. Nobody's being anything and nobody's fucking. Ain't nobody having kids in this world. You know what I'm saying? So like whatever the fuck you do, it's fucking okay. It's all right.
Do you have kids of your own? Any of you guys?
I don't. I wish I did. Right. I want 10 kids. I want 11 kids. I want 12. I want.
Well, do you want a soccer team? Do you want to?
I want a soccer team.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I've been really careful because I've growing up, I lived in Canada for 4 years for school, and then I lived in London for 4 years for school. So like my biggest thing throughout my 20s was don't get anyone pregnant. Like just don't have that responsibility on top of you. And then I came back here after that, and then the girlfriend that I'm with right now, she has a kid. So now that I'm 35, I'm kind of like I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm responsible enough where I can be like a father figure to someone and not be like a shitty parent. So now I'm just kind of learning how to be that person. But I feel like
wait. Is your stepson close to his father?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. The kid loves me for whatever reason, just because I like treat him well, and that's it. Like that's the good thing about it, that his dad is not really that great. So whenever he hangs out with me, like I'm just like a little kid with him. I just like play with him and shit. So he really likes me. So I guess that's the one thing that I've seen as like I've never had that connection with anyone enough for me to want to have a kid with them. But now that, even though this is not really my kid, like I feel close enough to him because of the fact that he has attached to me in a way that has never happened to me before, where I'm like at a point in my life that I feel responsible enough and mature enough to deal with that and just deal with it as an adult.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, is unwanted by both of their parents, you know.
those are
So
retards.
now,
Those are
yeah,
retards.
so now, yeah, so now I'm at a point where I'm like, all right, well, I have a job that maybe doesn't pay me as much as I want to, but I can live here comfortably and just take care of my girl and her kid, and be close to that. But it's also, I don't know. I feel like that's a very grown up step that I don't think I will be able to take 5 years ago. You know, where I didn't know where my life was going. I still don't know where my life is going, but at least I have that stability of like, all right, well, I can be supportive to other people and not be just like a shitty child. You know?
If you feel a connection to the child, if the child feels connection to you, stick with it.
Yeah.
The kid will be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. You know, and no matter what you choose to do with your life, you chose to be in this child's life. This child will benefit from you being around. But if you got to
Right.
split, it's okay. It's okay. Why? Because this world ain't about him. This
Right.
world's about you.
Right.
And you got to do what's right for you, bro. You got to do what's no. I'm just saying you got to do what's
Yeah.
right for you. And you got if you
Well, everything really
ain't
falls
happy,
into place after that, right? Like if you're
sure.
happy, everything is able to just fall into like its own little box afterwards, as long as you're comfortable with who you are and where you're in
Sometimes,
life.
sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes you go, you know what? I want to have my own kids.
Right.
I want to have a new
Mm,
adventure. And that's okay. You can do that. You're allowed to
right.
do that. Why? Because this is your life. It's your life. And you know, look, sometimes you feel selfish about it. Sometimes you feel like you feel guilty about it. But I don't know. I think that if you feel a drive, if you feel like I got something else to do, then you just got to go do it
Right.
and fuck the consequences because you know, you didn't start it. Got nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you know, it's a you know, it's a little harsh, but also I don't know what your background is, but I grew up in a broken family. I grew up where it was like, "Hey, good luck, motherfucker. I don't give a shit what you have to go through. You're gonna get bullied." I got bullied my whole fucking life. I moved from place to place, and everywhere I went, I got fucking bullied. I got fucking picked on. I got bullied. I still do because I'm used.
Yeah, it's true. He still does.
It's true. Yeah,
Well, I grew up fat, so
I did
yeah,
too. I
I
did too. I'm the same way, bro. I grew up fat. I grew up fat. I had tits. I had bitch tits. I had to work my
but
ass off to fucking get rid of them. I had to, you know, and you know, but made you stronger.
right. Well, my parents are still together. I don't think they've ever liked each other. So they just stay together because that's, I guess, the Latin American way of just pretending that there's no problems and everything is resolved by just staying quiet and not dealing with it. But one of the things that has taught me is that a lot of the growing up I had to do was by myself and just like being hit by life pretty much, because when you're in a household where the two parents love you to the point of protecting you from everything, it's good to a point, but also it's also preventing you from realizing or becoming who you really are as a person. So me, I left home when I was 17, and then I came back at like 25, and then I left again and came back at like 30. So a lot of my growing up was just dealing with punches that your life will bring you in countries where they wouldn't even speak the same language as you. So I feel like that helped me, well, number one, learn the language properly, and also just be prepared for the fact that sometimes no is the answer that you'll get, and you have to just deal with it and wiggle around it so that you're not completely miserable by failing, and also not diminishing any opportunity or any motivation that you have to push through. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I feel like life is not as complicated as most people think it is, and a lot of the time it's just as long as you're okay mentally, and as long as you're at a peaceful state, it doesn't matter how shitty everything around you is. If you're able to just manage yourself, you can do so much more than I feel like a lot of people our age are trying to either fix the things around them or expecting so much more from life than what they're getting, where even when you get a little bit or when you get a little break, it's not enough because they're expecting so much more from it. And I've learned, at least for the past 5 years, and my girlfriend has taught me that a lot, where she has not been as lucky as me, let's say, when it comes to like family life and relationships and things like that, where it's taught me that you get to a point where you do have to roll with the punches, and even though sometimes you have it easier than other people, that doesn't mean that you're a person that's prepared to deal with the punches that life brings you. And then you have to learn to adjust of maybe the way that I'm reacting is not an appropriate way, but this is all I know, so I have to adjust and deal with things in a different way. So now I'm at a point where, okay, so I'm 35. I've never really done anything with my life of a note. I say that you could write a book about it or have a Wikipedia page of it. But I feel like I've lived like three different lifetimes of, I was 17. I moved to the States. I didn't really know the language at all. Then I moved to Canada, and I was still very insecure about my English proficiency. But then my friends will help me because I was really insecure with it. And then when I moved to London, like it was just completely different culture, and I dealt with a lot of Europeans and a lot of different people that brought a lot of different points of views and things into my life that I would have never experienced if I just stayed in this third world country, where I feel like I'm 35, but I've dealt with so many different things and so many different people that I can see life from a different point of view, where I'm like, you know what, like sometimes the simpler and like the easiest things in life are the things that you can enjoy the most. And when you focus so much on the, well, I deserve better, or I should be getting better, or I need more, you make yourself sick instead of just enjoying the little bit that you have, or like the little bit that life has given you. And then maybe, yeah, aspire for more. But at the same time, don't make yourself miserable if you're not able to get that. You know what I mean? I don't know if that made any sense at all. I've been drinking, as you can tell. But to me, like I'm at a point in my life where I'm kind of like, all right, I'm enjoying the little things that I get, and I'm hoping that this relationship that I have with Loris will bring me something in my life. But at the same time, it's like if this doesn't work out, I'm content enough where I'm not gonna be miserable just because I didn't get that thing. And I feel like nowadays a lot of people focus more on the thing that they're not getting, other than the thing that they've already gotten, and that's what makes them miserable.
Trevor.
Did that make any sense at all? Did that make any sense at all? I'm not sure.
Yeah, totally.
It's just I feel like life is so simple, and a lot of the time we just try to make more of it, when really like it's really not that complicated. Just try to be happy with what you have, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's like what I was trying to get at with that court jester analogy earlier, is that really the key to happiness isn't money or some sort of system of books on tape.
Right.
It's just to have a positive, happy outlook, and to do your best to make light of everything and view everything as goodie. That's what I try and do. Everything's a goodie.
Right. Yeah.
Sleep is a goodie. Every meal is a goodie. Every little fun thing you do is a goodie. And so you're always being rewarded. You're being showered with a system of constant rewards and praise. And it
Right.
feels great. You
Right.
can't
It's
really
like
ask for more than that. It's constant positive reinforcement, rewards.
Yeah, instead
And
of expecting, I guess, something that might never come, that you're searching for that you might never get, and then you're
yeah,
miserable because you're not able to get to the
yeah.
point that you might never reach.
There's a figure of speech they use that I've heard in the South. I don't know if it's unique to there, but it's the best outlook, and that is that every day is a holiday and every meal is a feast.
Right.
And that, I think, is a key to unlocking happiness, is to have that kind of outlook. Is that every time you wake up in the morning, it's a blessing, and every time there's food on your table, it's a blessing. And you can make the most of it or the least of it, but you should celebrate that, because there are every day there are millions, or I don't know the exact statistic, but it's certainly thousands of people that aren't going to wake up the next morning.
Right.
And there more people still that might wake up but won't have food, or the food that they do have certainly won't be as tasty and nourishing as yours is. So that's the blessing you can count every meal and every day.
Well, I feel like that's one of the good things about living in a country like this, because now we only have 2 seasons. Like, our weather only allows 2 seasons. It's either the dry season or wet season. Wet season comes with earthquakes and also just heavy rain. And the problem with heavy rain here is that a lot of people that live in like cliffs, pretty much cliffs with like mud under them, and then their house just fall on the cliffs, and then there's just like floods and everything. So it makes you really appreciate the little piece of whatever you have, just because you're not dealing with that shit. So I understand how living in a place like New York, where I guess you see what homeless, and that's like the worst that you can see. But then in a place like this, where the fact that your roof is able to stand the rain and not just fall over, and your house doesn't fucking decimate itself by just the rain, gives you like a different point of view that people in first world countries like you guys don't really see as like real, other than what you see on screen. So I tend to have that different point of view of like, try to be happy with the little bit that you have, even though you might want a little bit more, which I mean, everyone does. But at the same time, it's like there's people that are just, half an hour away from you that are going through such a horrendous time, that you're kind of like, all right, you know what? Maybe me not having the fastest internet in the world is not such a horrible thing, because there's a roof over my head and I have a fucking blanket and a bed. So it's a kind of a different way of living, I guess, than just seeing overly rich people driving their expensive car, living their mansions, and you're across the street trying to live day to day, or like pay your bills every month.
Yeah, and as we talked about earlier, a lot of these people aren't happy. The people
Yeah,
with the
that's
nicest
about
car and
yeah.
the famous actor, these people aren't necessarily happy. And part of that is because they've forgotten to appreciate what they have.
Yeah. Yep.
And so if you
This is a horrendous way to end this show. Just like in the downer. Just like, you know what? Fucking entitled people, shut the fuck up. Deal with your shit and shut up.
No,
But
no, no, no,
it
man.
could be
If you're living,
potentially positive, you know. If if you can learn to practice this, I feel like a
Right.
lot of people who, since we've gone through somewhat of a secular revolution, people don't say grace before meals, and I certainly don't.
Right.
But yet, yeah, you don't have to do that, but you can find a way to be grateful for every meal. And if you can internalize that, I think that can help. I guess that's just the way I look at it. It is that when things feel frustrating, and you don't get exactly what you want out of life, you can still be grateful for the simple things,
Right.
and appreciate them as a connoisseur. You can appreciate perfectly cooked rice. You can appreciate the fact that you're watching a movie on your laptop. And like those small blessings. There's so many things to be happy about.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So.
I saw this thing earlier today. It was and this is something I think about often. In the last 100 years, pretty much every statistical category of human development has improved. Literacy has improved. Starvation has decreased dramatically. Fewer people are living under colonial rule. More people are living in something like a democracy. Poverty has decreased dramatically. These are all reasons to celebrate. But if you interview people, most people feel more mental illness than ever before. More depression, more anxiety. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I don't think that development indexes are the true measurement of human potential or happiness. But it still remains somewhat curious that we are living in an objectively better time than ever before, and yet so many people refuse to enjoy it.
Well, it's that thing of everything's amazing and nobody's happy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter how great technology gets and how easy everything is, because it seems like people try to always focus on whatever negative comes from it instead of thinking, you know, I have a fucking computer on my pocket that I can learn literally anything from history that 20 years ago was not possible. Or I can communicate with someone from Zimbabwe if I want, which would have never happened 20 years ago. And I feel like humans have this thing of you get used to having those things. So even though they might seem amazing right now, tomorrow they become second nature, and then you're just expecting more and more from the thing, to the point where you're never happy, instead of thinking, all right, people that came before me didn't have this thing, so I'm just grateful with the fact that I have access to this new thing that, you know, wasn't available to anyone before me. So that's cool. And now, especially with social media, that I just feel like it fuels mental illness. It gives people that, instead of helping them get better at whatever issue they're dealing with, it makes their illness valid, and it gives it some validity, that even though it might not be like a real problem, you're always going to find people that will support you or try to justify your illness with you, instead of saying, you know what, fucking get over that shit is bullshit. You know, sometimes you just need someone to say that's not an actual problem. You know, there's people that are actually dealing with real shit, and you're worrying about the fact that your tweet didn't get 10 likes. You know, like that's a problem. And I feel like that technology has brought that. Where yeah, a lot of people are making money in a very easy way. As before, where before you had to spend, I don't know, 15 hours a day in a coal mine, and now you can take selfies, and if enough people like them, you'll get sponsors and you'll get money from it. But at the same time, those people are not actually happy, because then they have the pressure of, well, this photo didn't get enough likes, so now I'm not gonna get paid, and it's just like a constant hamster wheel of misery, where if you're able to just look outside of that hamster wheel, it's like, you know what, life is not really that complicated. And if you're able to just focus on those little things that you're getting, then you might get more out of it. That you're a 100 millionaire like fucking Jeff Bezos, who needs to go to space to feel like he's accomplished something, even though his fucking wife hates him and his dick is little, you know. Not sure if that's true, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, and that's a good point, man. I'm not sure if he's happy.
Right.
Happiness is complicated, and and I think you're right on about social media. I do think it's causing a lot of mental illness, and
it encourages it. It encourages
yeah.
it because you get rewarded. The crazier you are, the more people engage with you, and the more people support you until you're brave and, oh, you're doing so great by getting upset at this thing that doesn't really matter. That
Yeah.
it creates more crazy people that feel empowered and feel like their voice actually matters, when people should just really tell them to shut the fuck up and deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back?
I'm fucked up. I've been here the whole time. I've been here the whole time.
He's been thinking
Listening to this shit. I'm fucked
He's
up.
been thinking in Chinese for the past half hour.
I gotta go. I gotta eat dinner, and I gotta wake up early in the fucking morning to go for a run.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
fun.
myself. I think I'm drunk. I drank this whole thing, which is not much,
Oh,
but I don't
No,
usually drink this. So if I
that's a
said
lot of
things that
booze.
if I say things that didn't make sense, fuck you as the
Yeah.
person listening. And you know what? This fucking don't
No,
listen.
you
to-
made
I'm
you
not-
made you made very good sense.
Yeah, perfect sense.
I'm fucking.
And I saw that bottle full and empty. That was
Yeah.
that was good. That was fucking
I'll
impressive.
keep you guys posted to see if I go blind tomorrow. That would be a real bummer.
I'm gonna worry a bit, man, because I know
That would
that
be
happens in the third world sometimes.
If you see me tomorrow posting a selfie with Bill Cosby eyes, or just milk in my eyes, then you'll know this was a mistake.
We got.
Oh jeez, yo, I drink.
What do you
I'm
guys?
blind.
I'm blind.
What do you guys have?
That
for
was
streaming?
far too Jewish. I'm sorry, my Cosby impression sucks.
It's Schwartz Cosby.
Yeah.
What
Schwarzer.
All right,
were we
what do you-
saying, Anthony?
No. What do you have for signing off?
Oh, patreon.com/lowres. Hopefully we'll get to $500 so I can start getting paid, because I'm still not getting paid anything for anything I do. So let's get that number up. It's $5 a month, you pieces of shit. Help me out. And H-word name on Twitter. That's like my fourth Twitter account that I've had, because every time I have a Twitter account, I get suspended because I tell a politician to go fuck themselves. I'm trying to be a good boy now and not do that anymore. But H-word name on Twitter. I try to be funny sometimes. So go follow that. That's what I got to say.
Stop politicking. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't do nothing. It doesn't do nothing. You're a beautiful person. Take that out. You're beautiful. Politics sucks. Politics are awful. Don't ever get into them. Don't think that you're a Democrat or a Republican. You're nothing. You don't mean
No.
anything. You're just a number who gives a shit. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit? Nobody gives
Yeah.
a shit. They just want you to vote for them. That's it. And guess what? If you don't vote, doesn't fucking matter. Trevor, what do you got? What's your end note here?
Well, I don't have anything in specific to promote, but I have to say that these gentlemen are very interesting to talk to and would be fun to annoy at work. So if you have any problem with your label maker, call the technical support line and you'll probably get Hans and ask him a really fucking stupid question. And if you are interested in the remake of The Laugh-In, the Sloth Master is going to be in the background on The Laugh-In, trying to make everybody laugh. So laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh.
Yeah,
Have a good time. Have a
the
fucking
new
good
host.
time.
The new host of the Wheel of Fortune, Anthony Cisco, after that guy died of cancer or whatever, didn't he? Was that Jeopardy?
Oh,
Whatever.
that was Jeopardy. Yeah, he's going to be the new Trebek. No, it's true.
I'm super smart.
I'm sorry, no. What we were looking for was